Today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing and spine-chilling topics in human history. Ever wonder why we track time in hours, minutes, and seconds based on 60, even though we have 10 fingers, and base 10 math makes way more sense? Or why so many ancient civilizations seem to describe gods descending from the heavens? Stick around, because we're exploring the mysterious story of Nibiru, the ancient Sumerian civilization, and how it all ties into biblical tales of giants, otherworldly visitors, and even the number 666. Let's start with something that might jog your memory from elementary school nightmares: the 60-based system, or sexagesimal system. We use it when we say there are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, and 360 degrees in a circle. That's a total mismatch with our human logic, right? After all, we have 10 fingers, so base 10 or even base 20 seems natural. Tons of cultures, from the Maya and Aztecs to the Inca and various indigenous peoples, used 10-based or 20-based counting in the distant past. So, where did 60-based math even come from? Historically, the first known large-scale use of the 60-based system comes from ancient Sumer in what's now southern Iraq. We're talking about a civilization that seemed to appear almost out of nowhere around 4000 BCE, leaping from a Stone Age existence to having cities, irrigation, astronomy, and advanced math, pretty much overnight in archaeological terms. Think about it. Humans spent literally hundreds of thousands of years with only the most basic stone tools. Then, almost instantly, a sophisticated urban culture emerged in Mesopotamia, complete with wheel technology, written language, those wedge-shaped cuneiform tablets, organized agriculture, and some of the earliest legal and medicinal texts. Scholars describe this as shockingly sudden, and we still don't fully understand how it happened so fast. If you look at ancient Sumerian tablets, you'll see repeated references to gods, often called the Anunnaki, who descended from heaven and established kingship on earth. According to Sumerian King Lists, these deities and semi-divine rulers lived for tens of thousands of years, way beyond normal human lifespans. They also gave humans all sorts of knowledge, from math and astronomy to agriculture. Now get this. The Sumerian word for god, or heavenly being, was often written as dingir, which also symbolized something descending from the skies. And in many carvings, you'll see these mysterious figures wearing horned caps, sometimes seated on thrones, with humans looking up to them in reverence. One big clue linking these gods to our 60-based math system is that they're often depicted with 6 fingers. That's right, 6 fingers per hand, meaning a total of 24 digits if you count the toes too. Imagine if your counting was based on 6 instead of 5. That could explain why the Sumerians ended up embracing that 60-based system. Meanwhile, references to 666 show up in the Sumerian King Lists, the Book of Revelation, and more, hinting at an otherworldly origin tied to these beings. So, why do we keep running into 60, 6, and 666 in ancient texts? Some researchers suggest it's all connected to how these ancient visitors, whoever they really were, organized their knowledge. They introduced humans to the sexagesimal system, which still defines our clocks and circles to this day. Whether it's angels, gods, or extraterrestrials, depending on your viewpoint, the result is the same. They left behind a massive imprint on human culture. Let's talk about the star, or planet, that keeps popping up in ancient cuneiform texts, Nibiru. The Sumerians referred to Nibiru as a crossing or intersecting place in the heavens. That's because the word Nibiru can be interpreted as crossing or 10-point intersection, like a cosmic cross. In many Sumerian seals and carvings, you see a star with crisscrossing rays, almost like a stylized plus sign. Some researchers draw parallels between that and the Christian cross, the Egyptian Ankh, or even the swastika symbols found in India. They believe it's all connected to the same concept, a wandering celestial object that intersects our solar system on a strange, extended orbit. But here's the wild part. These texts also mention that Nibiru sometimes travels past 7 other planetary bodies, planets, before finally reaching Earth. On Sumerian tablets, that's often depicted as 7 dots or circles, representing 7 stops on the way from the outer reaches of the solar system down to Earth. The bigger story in Sumerian myth is that beings from Nibiru, called the Anunnaki, arrived here eons ago, possibly hundreds of thousands of years back. Fast forward to biblical accounts in Genesis and the Book of Enoch, plus references in the Dead Sea Scrolls, and you'll find a cryptic story about sons of God who descended and had children with human women, resulting in giants, the Nephilim. People have long debated who these sons of God might have been. Some believe they were angels, some think they were watchers, and others connect them to the Anunnaki. Interestingly, the Bible also mentions that these giants had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, making them 24-digit beings, once again hinting at the possible reason behind that 60-based math. Even the biblical flood ties in here. According to Sumerian and later Babylonian traditions, these godlike beings saw human wickedness or meddled too much with earth and decided to wipe the slate clean with a colossal flood, sparing only a few chosen individuals like Noah or Utnapishtim in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Factor in the Sumerian King List, with its absurdly long reigns of 8 ancient kings before the flood, some lasting tens of thousands of years, and it starts to paint a picture that doesn't neatly fit mainstream history. Then there's the mind-blowing scientific theory. Our solar system might be part of a binary star setup, something that's common in much of the universe. If that's the case, then Nibiru could be orbiting that second star rather than our sun, but occasionally swooping close enough to pass near Earth every so often, causing gravitational chaos, maybe even cataclysmic events. Could the biblical flood have been triggered by one of these near passes? Some believers in this theory point to random comets, debris fields, or asteroid belts, the Kuiper Belt, as remnants from past Nibiru flybys. Stories of giant humans aren't exclusive to Mesopotamia or the Old Testament. They pop up in North American indigenous histories, in South American explorer accounts, and even in places like New Zealand. If you recall the diaries of European explorers, like Magellan's chroniclers in South America, they reported running into tribes of very tall, pale-skinned individuals, some said to be over 10 feet tall, who recognized the explorers' banners as heavenly symbols. Could that be another echo of a time when these tall divine beings taught or interacted with human societies? From the vantage point of mainstream science, there's no confirmed evidence of a hidden planet with a hyper-elongated orbit, or 6-fingered extraterrestrials who founded the earliest civilizations. But the ancient texts and artifacts keep that door of speculation wide open. Why did the Sumerians, 6,000 years ago, depict a complete solar system with as many as 12 celestial objects? And how on earth did they jump from Stone Age living to advanced agriculture, writing, math, geometry, and city building so quickly? Take a closer look at major world religions, and you'll spot a recurring pattern. Whether it's the 12 key figures in many mythologies, the 12 Olympian gods in Greece, 12 Adityas in Hinduism, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 disciples of Jesus, 12 heavenly generals in some Buddhist traditions, or the theme of 7, 7 heavens, 7 seals, 7 lampstands, and so on. Some scholars suggest that these repeated motifs trace back to the very earliest accounts of the Anunnaki and their heavenly journeys across 7 planetary stages before arriving on Earth. In the book of Revelation, Jesus is described as holding 7 stars, much like references in Mesopotamian carvings showing 7 planetary waypoints. Could it be that all these metaphors, whether we interpret them literally or symbolically, are glimpses of a cosmic event thousands of years ago? Stories also exist, especially in conspiracy circles, about how institutions like the Vatican supposedly gathered up evidence of giants, strange skeletons, and ancient texts that might confirm extraterrestrial involvement in human history. Some allege that certain governments or religious bodies keep such findings under wraps to avoid causing panic or upending long-held beliefs. Whether or not that's true, one thing's for sure. Many ancient sites and relics around the world remain either off-limits to the public or only partially excavated, leaving plenty of room for speculation. If Nibiru really is on a long elliptical orbit, some people believe it might return in our lifetime, or perhaps many centuries from now. Every so often, you'll see doom and gloom predictions that Planet X or Nibiru will swing by and wreak havoc on Earth. Most mainstream astronomers label that as pure pseudoscience. But then again, mainstream science hasn't fully ruled out the possibility of a Planet 9 lurking in the outer solar system, a hidden world with a highly elongated orbit, though the details remain elusive. So here's where we land. 1. Sumer's sudden civilization. The leap from Stone Age to a fully urban culture in Mesopotamia is baffling. 2. Advanced knowledge. The 60-based system, advanced astronomy, and impossibly long king's reigns point to strange origins. 3. Biblical flood and giants. Whether it's the Nephilim, 6-fingered giants, or cataclysmic floods, countless myths point to a shared global memory of otherworldly interventions. 4. Nibiru's mystery. The notion of a hidden planet or second star might sound like sci-fi, but it's rooted in texts that are many thousands of years old. As for what to believe, that's up to you. Are we looking at cosmic visitors who shaped human progress? Or is it all a symbolic saga that our ancestors used to make sense of the unknown? Let's keep our minds open to both traditional scholarship and new lines of inquiry. Thank you all for sticking with me through this deep dive into humanity's possible off-planet origins, the 60-based system, and the mysterious planet Nibiru. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss an update. Feel free to leave a comment with your own theories. Do you think Nibiru is real? Is it a code for something else? Is there a conspiracy to hide evidence of ancient giants? Until next time, remember, sometimes the real story behind our past is stranger than any sci-fi movie we can imagine. Take care, everyone.